Go.
For those who want to fight, let them live. But for those who do not want to fight in this world of eternal struggle, do not deserve to live. Who do you believe said this quote?
Hitler.
Jesus. Jesus. I heard Jesus, and I think that's pretty correct. I'm just kidding. Next slide. These are actually the words of the most notorious leader that ever lived, and probably will forever live with an infamy for what he has done. I speak of no one but Adolf Hitler himself. At the mention of his name, many would simply recall a man who was the worst of the worst, who committed the worst crime in the history of man. I speak of nothing but the systematic genocide of an entire people. 6 million Jews lost their lives in the Holocaust, and that is the truth. And for this, many would simply label him as a monster, a devil, an abusive man who used his power for the worst. But then you have people like me who do not allow for these tags to interrupt who he truly is, which is one of the greatest leaders that has ever lived on the face of this earth. In order to convey this, you need to remember the circumstances of his acquisition of power. The year is 1933, and the Great Depression has hit the entire world. Men, women, and children are dying every day from starvation. There is no schools for children because the banks are closing. There is no money to pay for their education. People have nowhere to go because their homes are foreclosing. If there is no money, trade is gone. But in Germany, there is one savior for them. A man by the name of Adolf Hitler, one chancellor. In 1933, under the promise that he would eradicate unemployment, he would bring back their pride, and most importantly, that he would restore to them what has been lost, which is all of their livelihoods. And what if I told you that he actually ended up doing that? Next slide. In 1933, 30% of the German population was unemployed. That's 6 million people without homes, without money to feed their children. And you don't even have to look at the end. In just 4 years, 1937, that number was brought down to almost even below 2 million. In just 4 years, he eliminated the biggest problem that faces people. In 4 years, he brought to them what has been lost. He brought back their economy in just 4 years. He kept his promise in just 4 years. Some people were given 8 years to keep their promise, and they weren't even able to do that for us. Let's go back to the other side. And more than that, he took one of the smallest nations. Germany was nothing before him. He made it into the biggest superpower. He took over half of Europe by himself with his own army. He built them up from nothing. He compressed coal into diamonds alone with no help. But in order to really understand this, you need to know we must not define leadership by morals. Being a leader is not about making choices that people agree with. It is not about going down in history as a great man. See, he did what he did for his people, and that alone. Leadership involves making choices that may hurt other people, but it's for the benefit of your own people, and that's what he did. He said he was going to help his people. He said, I will bring Germany back his pride. He said, I will bring all Germans back what they have been taken, what has been taken from them. And he kept that promise to his people. A leader is not focused on anybody else but their people, unlike some people in America. But most importantly, we must remember that in just 4 years, he solved everything that was messing with all of his people. We gave Obama 8 years to fix what has been going on here. In 8 years, he has done nothing for us. He continues to allow for his own people to live down in the society that he has created. We are still looked down upon in the nation that he so runs, but he was never able to fix that for us. But Hitler actually did something. In only 4 years, he restored Germany back to the height of its entire prosperity in just 4 years. And I think that is more than enough reason to say that Adolf Hitler was a great leader, because he was not given anything from the start. He built everything up by himself. And for that alone, you should not judge someone from what they have done. You should judge someone by what they have did. So, when you judge leadership, it should not be based upon public image. It should be about the promises that they kept to their people, and that is the end.